Hi guys, James here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having a great day. I am having a good day. It is a day off for me, so I'm really excited about that. I just came in from doing some shopping. I'm going to a baby shower on Sunday. One of my best friends is having a baby in the next couple of months, and her baby shower is on Sunday. So I did some shopping for that, which I'll have to wrap later. But I got some cute things. When I see a baby, like I don't want kids, but when I see a baby, I'm just like, oh my god, my ovaries just can't handle it. I want to pick it up and touch it. They're so cute. Anyway, the things I got are so cute, so I'm really excited. Hopefully she enjoys them. And also Tyson enjoys them because he will be dressing the baby up with some of those items as well. But yeah, I'm really excited because today, guys, I thought I would sit down and talk about some of my most expensive items in my makeup collection. Now, we have some highlighters, mostly eyeshadow palettes, and we also do have a bronzer as well. Now, one highlighter I'm actually missing. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in my house. I'll probably find it an hour after I wrap up this video. It is the Dior Highlighter. I will put a photo of that up on the screen, so we'll talk about that first. But yeah, I've got, how many items? Oh god, they're all just fallen over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 11 items, 10 in front of me, and then obviously the Dior Highlighter I can't find for the life of me, and that cost me $82, I think, from memory. And yeah, it's a single highlighter. It's worth the money, in my opinion, but I can't find it. So I need to find that so I can actually get my money's worth out of it. But yeah, that's the video today. I hope you enjoy these types of videos. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And to all the subscribers already to my channel, thank you for watching this video. I really do appreciate your support. And guys, before we get into this video, I wanted to quickly mention this is not a brag video. A lot of these items are a couple of years old. One of these items were given to me, and all the rest of the items I purchased myself. I don't get PR. I buy everything that you see in front of me. And I kind of wanted to sit down and talk about the items, because I like to know when I buy something that's expensive. I do watch YouTube videos, I watch reviews, I watch all of that type of stuff before I buy them, because I don't want to waste my money. I can't afford to spend $100 and have it not work for me. I've made that mistake a few times and I don't want to do that anymore. So I do watch makeup reviews. If I do have my eye on something, I really do want to make sure that my money is going to not go to waste. So I do actually go to YouTube and type in the item that I'm thinking of buying and watch reviews on it, because I think that's important to do your research, especially when some of these items are over $100 for one item. So that's why I wanted to give my opinion on some of these items, and hopefully that helps you out in a purchase later on in the future if you're thinking of buying any of these, or just thinking about buying something from the brand that I talk about in this video. Or if you want to know more about this brand as a whole, maybe this video will help you in the decision process. Decision. Am I saying that right? Decision. I feel like I am. Anyway, yeah, let's get into the video, guys. So the first item we have, actually, let's talk about the Dior highlighter that I don't have. I purchased this at Maya here in the city. It is a department store, like a Saks or a Macy's in America. It is more of a high-end department store, and I purchased this on a whim. I walked into it, and I've always wanted to try this Dior highlighter. I've seen it online. I've seen people talk about this. And I usually like to go into the store and swatch things to really see how it works on the back of my hand, especially highlighter, because I'm quite particular with highlighters. I don't like ones that have lots and lots of glitter reflexes. I like ones that actually more of a powder and then they blend into the skin rather than sit on top and give you a really like harsh line. I don't mind that in some highlighters, especially my Kaleidos ones that have duochromes and shifts of pink and purples in them. I like those especially for inner corner highlighters. But if I'm going to buy something from Dior and it's going to cost me $80, I would like one that I know I can use a lot more often than, say, a Kaleidos highlighter, which I use for more colourful looks. Now, when I went to the store, there was actually only one available, which was the shade I wanted. It was more of a white snowflake shade. I like champagne shades and white highlighters. They're just my favourite type of highlighters to use. Now, guys, I did swatch it on the back of my hand in store, and it was amazing. I fell in love with it instantly, and I love the packaging. It had the little pillow packaging, which I loved, and had the Dior symbol on it. And when I first got it, I used it every single time I played with makeup. But I don't know where it is right now. I did go through all my makeup and organize everything, but I don't know where I put it. So when I do find it, I will get back to using it all the time because I want to get my money's worth out of that. But I wanted to let you know about that, even though I don't have it in front of me. I absolutely love that purchase and I don't regret it at all. And guys, with that, let's talk about all the items that are actually in front of me. So the first item you've already seen, this is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. Now this is one of my most expensive face products. This cost me $72 Australian for this one little compact. The packaging, first of all, is stunning. Like, it reminds me of old Hollywood glamour. Really big size. This is in the shade 310 D'Or, the airbrush bronzer. And I got this when I first went to Sephora. Sephora was opening and they had a Mecca store, so I actually bought this after I'd been to the Sephora store, and Pure Lottie and I went to the store together, so she actually bought one as well. This was the only shade they had left, so we got the last two in the store and it worked perfectly for both of us. The colour is really, really pretty. I love a warm toned bronzer. I don't really like cool toned bronzers, so this works for me and it blends out amazingly. As you can see, I've used it a lot. It does have a big mirror, which I'm trying to cover up so it doesn't flash back at you. This is one of my absolutely ride or die products. I recommend this to everybody. It is $72, which is really expensive for one bronzer. Like, that's really, really expensive. But I don't regret buying this, and you do get a lot of products. So I'm making sure that I never drop this so it never shatters, because that's just a waste of money. Definitely recommend that item for you guys. Then guys, the next item we have is from Pat McGrath. And this was an item that I actually bought on the Sephora Day launch when it first opened here in Perth. Now, I'd seen this product online for a month or two beforehand, and I really, really fell in love with it. But I just couldn't justify paying this. Now, I can't remember how much I paid for this, but I think it was about $100. And it comes with 3 highlighters. The packaging is stunning, so you open it. Sorry, let me open it up for you on camera. I'm opening it up without showing you. So it does come in this like cardboard packaging, and it kind of looks like it's got like newspaper and it's got graffiti on it. It does have this little twirly thing that all her palettes do have, and you open it just like this, and this is actually the palette. So this palette doesn't come out like her eyeshadow palettes come out of the packaging. It doesn't. This is the little plastic sleeve, which is kind of annoying because it does have the shade names on it. So I have to keep it in here. The only thing is sometimes it slides out. So if I shut this, sometimes if I hold it like that, it slides out the bottom, which is kind of annoying. I wish the shades were on the back, but they're not. So I have to keep this in, which is really annoying. But these are the 3 highlighters. They are stunning. The packaging is stunning, well worth the money. I don't use this as much as I thought I would. They do have 3 different colours. So we've got a really like bronzy gold highlighter. Now this is more of a baked formula, which is not always my favourite formula. Why is my camera not focusing? Focus, focus, focus. It's not focusing. What's happening? Is that better? Is that going to focus? There we go. Okay, that's focusing. So I'll swatch that on the back of my hand. A really, really deep and gold. Love that shade. Then we've got this shade. Oh God, what's the shade in the middle? I should be reading it out to you. Fine Gold, which is a very, very yellowy, goldy, bronzy highlighter. It's not as deep as the other one. I'm going to really do a good swatch of that so you can see it. It's a lighter gold. Really, really pretty. The formula does blend into the skin really nicely. Then guys, that last shade is Iridescent Pink, and that is such a beautiful shade. Look at that, the pink reflexes and the purple. Really, really pretty. Now the first shade I forgot to tell you is Bronze Nectar, and that was the gold shade, the deep gold shade. So those are the 3 shades there. Really, really, really pretty. Love that. This is my favorite shade out of all 3 of them, just because the deep gold is a little too deep for me, and then the middle one, I don't really like the goldy highlighters. I prefer pinks, purples, blue reflexes, or just the white highlighters. So I kind of only use 1 out of the 3, which is a little, yeah, it's ridiculous spending that much money for just 1 shade. But I did it, and I don't regret it, and I'm really, really happy to have this in my collection. I don't use this as much as I should. I'm going to keep this in my everyday drawer now because it was in my other drawers. And when I have something in my everyday drawers, because my eye's on it all the time, it reminds me to use it. So I'm going to keep this in my everyday drawer for now. And I do like the packaging. It's quite thin, so it doesn't take up much room. And yeah, it's really pretty. And then guys, next item we have is very embarrassing for me. I don't know why I bought it. I do not know why I bought it. I bought it about a month ago. And this is actually the Celestial Sofia Eye Soot. I don't know how to say this brand. It's a. I'm just going to put it up on the screen. I did talk about this in my declutter. It cost me $57 for a single eyeshadow. This is a cream eyeshadow. I don't know if you'll be able to see. It does have like pink and blue reflections throughout it. Really, really pretty. The only thing is, first of all, packaging is cute, but my chubby little fingers don't actually fit in this little hole. You can use a brush, but I like to use my finger. So I'm barely getting the tips of my finger in this. So I'm using my pinky. It is really, really pretty. It's very creamy. It is, like I said, an eye soot or an eye cream. That's what it looks like on my finger. Not the best look, but when I swatch it, oh my god, guys. Like, when I swatched it in store, I was like, I need to get this. And the price wasn't on it. So I just took it up to checkout. And you know when you do that moment where they tell you the price, and you're like, do I say no, that's too expensive, or do I just bite the bullet and just pretend like I've got the money to spend? I purchased it because I didn't want to embarrass myself. That's what it looks like. It's so, so pretty. Like, look at that. Absolutely stunning. The only thing is, when I tried to use it in an eyeshadow look, I did a really smoky, like, natural nude tone look with a deep outer corner. I wanted to put this blue on the actual eyelid itself. When I did that, it actually took all the matte shades that I already applied off, and then it creased because I've got hooded eyes. I don't know. If I relax, you'll be able to, like, that's my eyes open. Let me, wait, is that, okay, I zoomed you in. My eyes are open now. When I relax, I lose half of that. So that's where I put all my eyeshadow shimmer. I lose half of that. And because it's an eye soot or an eye cream, it creased really badly and it took all my matte shades off. So I don't know how I'm going to use this. I kind of regret buying this. Obviously, I can't return it because I've used it. So I'm just going to keep it as an inner corner highlighter because I think it's a stunning shade for an inner corner highlighter. Look at that, like, stunning. But I do regret buying this, and I will not buy another product from this brand because, first of all, I can't get any of my fingers except my pinky in it, so I don't know how I'm going to get it to the bottom. Like, I have to use a brush, and I don't like using brushes for shimmers. I prefer to use my fingers when I can. I just find it applies a lot better for me when I apply my eyeshadow shimmers. And yeah, when I get to the bottom, I'm not going to be able to use it because my chubby fingers won't be able to get into it. But it's still a really pretty shade, and yeah. It's stunning, but I can't recommend this product. Not for $57. Absolutely not. I kick myself for spending that much money. I don't know why I did it. It was one of those moments I should have said, oh, sorry, I can't afford it, but I didn't. Anyway, the next item we have is the Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette. Now, this is the only eyeshadow palette I own from Charlotte Tilbury. It's stunning. Packaging is stunning. This is the Instant Eyeshadow Palette, the Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette. Now, I think it's got 12 shades in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 shades in it, I was right, and I think it retailed for about $110 Australian. I went in store and I did swatch mainly the shimmers because you can't really rely on matte swatches because mattes don't swatch very well. But the shimmers, especially the green shimmer in this palette, that one there, it swatched amazingly in store. So I did get this palette and I don't actually regret it. I really, really love the shimmers. That's that green shimmer that I just showed you. Swatch really, really nicely. And I actually did create one of my favorite eye looks I've ever created using this palette. I will put a photo of that up on screen just because I was really happy with the way the look came out. Now, it is a very, very small and very, very thin eyeshadow palette. You can see it there. And the actual eyeshadow pots are about half of the thickness of this. So you don't get much product. And I'm not a huge fan of the actual layout. I hate eyeshadow palettes that are long. I prefer squares, just because when I dip my brush into it, I like to tap off the excess in the palette, and it just gets all over the other shades. So that's kind of annoying for me. Other than that, I love the eyeshadow formula. The matte and the shimmers blend out really nicely. I did actually have a sleeve with this, but the sleeve doesn't actually tell you the shade names. It just says 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it doesn't actually tell you the shade names. So when I'm trying to credit the shades that I used in my description. I find it a bit hard. If you actually see on the palette, it's actually got, see, it's got these three as one, these three another one, and these three. So it actually tells you what shades to use for an actual eye look. I don't go by them because I just do my own thing because I'm crazy like that. But I do recommend this eyeshadow palette and I absolutely love it. Then guys, the next item we have is from Urban Decay. Now this is quite an expensive eyeshadow palette for me. It is $75 I think for this eyeshadow palette. Now it does come with 12 shades and very similar to the packaging of the layout of the Charlotte Tilbury. I don't know who did it first, probably Urban Decay, because all their palettes are like this, except their Born to Run eyeshadow palette, which was my first ever eyeshadow palette I bought, and that had actually 18 shades. This one only has 12. Now this retails for $72 or $75 Australian, and this is the only Urban Decay eyeshadow palette that I own. I used to have the cherry one, which I didn't like. I gave that away. And then I also did used to have the Born to Run one that I told you was my first ever eyeshadow palette. Love that palette, but it's 3.5 years old, so I decluttered that quite a while ago. This palette is stunning because I love purples, and this shade here is actually the one that I bought this palette for. Now, I watched a lot of people review this palette before I bought it because Urban Decay has been a hit or miss eyeshadow wise. So that's why I did watch quite a few YouTube videos when it came out. I didn't buy it first thing. That is that shade there, Lucid. It's so pretty. The camera's not doing justice. Really pretty. I love to put that over a deep purple look. I usually use these purples and then top that off as an inner corner highlighter or just over the actual purple because it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. So do I use the mattes out of this palette? Not too much. It's mainly the shimmers. I've not really used these neutrals. They're not really speaking to me. I don't really like the formula of those. If I'm going to use a neutral shade, I'd probably use the ones out of the Charlotte Tilbury one or my Going Coconuts Colourpop palette. But this shimmer and the other purple shimmers are really pretty. Now, would I buy this palette again? Probably not, because I've actually got a couple of new palettes that has that Lucid shade that I absolutely love in this palette, which I swatched for you in those palettes, and they're a lot more affordable, and I like to use all the shades out of those palettes over this palette because I'm only using the shimmers, not the matte. So yeah, I wouldn't buy that palette again for myself, but I'm holding on to it because of that one shade in particular. And then guys, the next palette we have is from Pewter Beauty. Now this packaging is stunning. Like, look, oh, stunning. Absolutely love this packaging. This palette cost me $115. It comes with 18 shades, I think. Yeah, 18 shades. Really, really pretty palette. I've actually had a couple of these palettes. I gave one to Lottie, and I gave one as well in a giveaway because I did get these, or this palette in my Pewter Beauty mystery boxes last year. So I gave them away. Absolutely love the formula out of this palette, and I know Lottie loves this palette as well. These, like this green aqua shade, oh, so stunning. And these shimmers are really, really pretty. I don't use this palette enough, but I don't think I'll ever let go of it just because I just love the packaging, and this palette is just, it reminds me of just really good times because this was my first ever really expensive palette. I have had a couple of Pewter Beauty palettes. Huda Beauty, I'm saying Huda, but Huda Beauty, you know what I mean. I've had her neutrals palette, which I really did not like, and that concealer shade in that just didn't work for me at all. And then I've also had another one of their palettes, which I can't remember, and I didn't like. I gave that away. But this palette I'm holding on to, this is just everything, this palette. Love that palette. Highly recommend that palette. The other one's not so much, but that palette works for me great, and I know Lottie loves it, and I know a lot of other people that have tried the formula really like it as well. So I'd happily recommend that palette to anyone. The next palette we have is my most expensive eyeshadow palette I think I've ever purchased. This is the Pat McGrath. I think this is the Mothership V Bronze Seduction palette, and this cost me $210, which was amazing. First of all, packaging very similar. You do get the wind up. Let me just show you. You have the little wind up thing like you do on the other palette, the highlighter palette. That's what it looks like inside. Really pretty. This palette actually comes out of the packaging, and then you do get the little sleeve with the shade names on the bottom. I wish they kind of just like stuck this on the bottom. I might just have to stick this in the bottom because it always comes out, and just leave it there because I'm always going to keep the cardboard packaging. I think it's stunning. This is what the palette actually looks like. Really, really pretty. This is a really, really heavy, like, heavy duty palette. It weighs a ton. Now, I did drop this palette a while ago, so you can see a ton of fallout all over the mirror, but the shades didn't break, which is amazing. It's just the shimmers that kind of had fallout all over it. I really like this palette. I don't use it enough. For $210, I should use it every single day to get my money's worth. This is the only Pat McGrath full-size palette that I have. I did have a 6-pan one that I actually gave away in a giveaway. This is a 10-pan palette and costs $210. Again, packaging's really, really pretty. Really love these shades, 1, 2, and 3. The red is really pretty, and then this green is stunning. It's a white shade but has green reflexes and gold reflexes throughout it. It's quite glittery, so you do get a ton of fallout. I know some people use glitter glue when they apply this. I don't know if you can see how much glitter there is in the actual formula. So I find that the shimmers, they do kind of fall out all over my face during the day as I wear it, because when I relax my eyes again, because I'm hooded, the glitter kind of dries out and falls all over my face over the day, which I'm not a huge fan of. But the mattes blend out really, really nicely. Now, would I buy another palette like this? No. I wouldn't spend that much money on Pat McGrath's formula. I do love how the mattes blend out, but I have the Going Coconuts Colourpop palette, where the mattes in that palette blend out as good as this Pat McGrath palette does. And the shimmers in that palette don't have fallout like the one in this palette does. So this is a lot more work and a lot more money, and I don't think it's worth it. But I'm not throwing that one away anytime soon, because I'm not throwing away money. I just can't afford to do that. Where's my phone going off? It's not. Okay, that's right. The next palette we have is from Stila. Now, I think this is almost 2.5 years old. My sister actually got this for me when I saw this palette in her bathroom when I was having dinner at her house once. I was like, oh, that palette is really, really pretty. And she actually got me this palette because I fell in love with the one she had, and it's the same one. She got this for me for my Christmas present almost 2.5 years ago. And I absolutely love the mattes out of this palette. Now, Stila hasn't really done much recently that I've been in love with. Now, guys, I'm trying to hide the mirror because it's going to glare back at you. This is a very reflective palette. I'm just going to put my Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette, which we'll talk about after this palette. This is what that palette looks like. The packaging is stunning. Like I said, it's very reflective packaging. Really, really pretty. It's plastic on the outside, but in the inside, it's like metal, or very, very hard, shiny plastic. Really, really pretty. A very, very heavy palette, just like the Pat McGrath one. Very neutral palette with a couple of pops of colour with the green and this, I don't know, almost cherry colour. I like this palette a lot. The only thing with the shimmers, they have a ton of fallout, just like the Pat McGrath one. It's almost a glitter formula. It does have a ton of fallout. That's that green. I will do a quick swatch of it. It's a really pretty shade, but I don't know if you'll be able to see how chunky the formula is. And because of the chunkiness, I do have the same problem that I have with the Pat McGrath palette, where it goes all over your face. So I actually have a new glitter glue coming, so I actually want to try that with this palette, because I love how the shimmers look and I love the mattes. They blend out really, really nicely. This palette, I think, was almost $90. I think it was $90. It has 12 shades in it, so it has 2 more shades than the Pat McGrath palette, and the pan size is very similar to the Pat McGrath palette. But I haven't actually seen Stila bring out anything really exciting in the last 1.5 years. I know they have like the liquid eyeshadows, which don't work for me because they do crease when they dry down on my eyes, so I don't tend to use those. And their eyeshadow palettes, nothing has come out that's exciting. I don't know what's happening with Stila. Stila was one of those brands that everyone talked about for a while, and then they've kind of just disappeared. I don't know what's happening with them. I love this palette. I'm always going to keep it because my sister did buy it. It does have all the shade names on the back, which I love. And I think it's just a really pretty packaging, really pretty palette, and I'm going to hold on to this one because it has a lot of good memories for me. Would I recommend it? Probably not, just because of the shimmer formula. It's a lot of work for me, and I don't really like using glitter glue for a shimmer. For a glitter, yes, but for a shimmer, no. So yeah, I wouldn't buy this palette again just because it's a lot of work. If you're trying to do a quick look using the shimmers, you won't be able to do that without having to use a glitter primer or a glitter glue to hold the shimmers in place all day. And then guys, the next palette we have is from Natasha Denona. This is their Circo Loco palette. This is the only Natasha Denona palette that I have. I was holding out for a really beautiful, colourful palette from this brand to buy to try out for my first ever Natasha Denona palette. They have some beautiful neutral palettes, but I love colour, and I wanted a colourful palette that I know I could reach for every time if I fell in love with the formula. Sadly, I have not fallen in love with the formula, and I feel like I wasted my money. This is what the palette looks like. Very, very colourful. Like, it has all the colours that I love. These pinks and these blues and these purples and these greens and just oranges. It has all the colours that I love. But for me, the mattes didn't blend out at all. This shade here, which was the shade that I used, it just crumbled every time I put a brush into it. It was just crumbling non-stop. The shimmers, they're not shimmers that I'm used to. I find these very, very muted. I don't really like the shimmers, the formula, the way they look in the eyes. I'm just going to swatch this electric glue shimmer. Like, it does go down on my finger really nicely, and when I do swatch it on the back of my hand, it will look really pretty. But I love like a foiled shimmer. Like, that's really pretty, but it doesn't catch the light for me like I love my shimmers to look like. And when I did try and blend it, when I applied on my eyes, I like to blend the outer edges, so you can get a nice seamless blend from the mattes to the shimmers. It kind of fell all over my face, and blue's really, really hard to clean up after when you do your makeup, and it does kind of crumble during the day. For me anyway, it crumbled all over my under my eyes, on my nose, right here. It just crumbled, and it's very hard to sweep away this type of shimmer formula because it kind of clings to everything it falls on. So I had that problem. I did use the blues, the purples, and then these this shade and this orange shade, the matte shades, and they didn't work for me. I haven't tried this palette since because it was a really big letdown. I bought this on launch day. It cost me $190 Australian. I got this from the Sephora website, so I had to wait 2 or 3 days until it came to my door, which is actually really fast because normally I'm waiting a month or two for palettes to get to me. But it was a huge letdown, and it's not made me want to buy from this brand again. This is the £15 eyeshadow palette for $190, and it was a letdown in my opinion. I personally wouldn't recommend Natasha Denona's eyeshadow formula to people, just from my experience, but I have a lot of friends on YouTube that love the formula, so it's just a hit and miss. For me, I wouldn't recommend this palette, even though a lot of people do like the formula and rave about her formula. I do want to actually try some of her face products. She has a face palette which looks really pretty, but eyeshadow wise, I would not be buying from Natasha Denona ever again. I can't afford to spend $190 or even $100 for her smaller palettes for it just to not work for me. I can't afford to do that. I have to pay bills, I've got a cat to look after. Never again. And then guys, we are down to our last item. I know this is going to be a very long video and I do apologize, but let me just quickly go through this palette here. This is the glitter palette from With Love Cosmetics. Now, I actually bought all of these as individual shades, and then I bought the palette to put all these individual shades in. The reason I'm including this is because this palette cost me $250 to fill it up with 18 shades. This is what the palette looks like, guys. Really, really pretty. I love With Love Cosmetics formula. Ali Dawson has talked about it. Jennifer has talked about it on her YouTube channel. These are people that I follow on YouTube and talk to all the time. And I wanted a glitter formula that I can rely on and not have to really use glitter glue. And this is the palette that I got. Everybody talks about this and I can understand why. You don't need to glitter with these palette at all. I absolutely love how big the pan sizes are. They are really big for an eyeshadow. They do retail between $15 to $20 each shade, so that's why it's quite an expensive palette. I actually got this palette and the shades at 30% off, but it's still quite expensive, even with that discount for 18 shades. But I'm really, really happy that I got these. I picked out all the shades that I know I would love. You know me, I love colour, so I got the blues, the pinks, the purples, some neo like green, yellow, and then some other shades that have like different confetti. So these are white shades, but this one has blues and purples. I don't know if the camera, there we go, camera focus. That's what it looks like. Stunning. And then we've got this one here, which is again white, but it's got like deep blue shades in it. Again, really, really pretty. Look at that. Look at that sparkle. So, so pretty. I'm really excited about using these. I have used these quite a few times. I'm going to swatch some of my favorite shades. I'm going to swatch this one here. Really, really pretty. Again, oh, come on, camera focus. It's just, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'll swatch that shade. Now, the only thing with these shades is they don't actually have the shade names on the bottom underneath. So I don't know what the shade names are. So when I try and, write down what I've used, I have to look up on the website and kind of remember what I actually purchased, which is kind of annoying. I wish they had the sticker saying what the shade names are. That would be amazing. That's what that glitter looks like. I'll do a quick swatch on the back of my hand. And guys, that's what the shade looks like. I'm trying to do the best swatch I can, but it's hard to show how pretty it is under these lights. But it's stunning. I'm going to swatch one more. I'll swatch this yellow shade because yellow is really pretty. And I like yellow. So we'll swatch that one shade as well. And then hopefully the lights pick up on this one because this one is out of this world. That's what that one looks like. Come on, camera. There we go. It's so, so pretty. On the eyes, I have used that shade and I absolutely love that shade. So guys, that is the last palette. Would I recommend this palette or these shades? Absolutely. If you're going to buy a glitter palette or if you want a glitter palette, you can make your own. They have a lot more shades than what I have here. They probably have about 50 shades. These are the ones that I got. I had to only pick 18 because that's how many shades actually fit in a big palette, and this is their biggest palette. So I'm really excited about that. Again, it's quite expensive. It's from the UK, so I did have to pay like $25 shipping as well with this purchase, and then the actual whole palette and the shades cost me about $250, and that was with 30% off as well. Now, the palette you can buy individually, or you can just buy the shades individually and put them in your own magnetic palette. I just wanted to get this palette because I knew they would fit perfectly in a big palette, and also you can actually see the shades from the clear top, which I love because I want to be able to see it. It's really pretty. It's a pretty palette, so I want to be able to see it at all times. So guys, that's everything in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully the review that I gave on each of these products helps you in making a decision if you want to buy that particular product or buy from the brand in general. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, guys, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and also check out my Instagram and TikTok because I do post a lot of things on there that I don't film. If you guys want to know anything more about any of these individual items or more about the brand in general and my thoughts on them, please leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Oh, my love. Bye.